Who do you work for? Welcome to Seeking God with Leah Klein, Health and Wholeness Coach. And our verse for today is Colossians 3:23 and 24. Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. So who are you really working for, God or man? According to our verse, we should be working as for God. And reality is, even though you could say, but my employer is paying me, it's like, but that employer is just a channel God is using to provide for you. So it's still coming from God, even if you have an employer, and even if it's not the best relationship with that employer, you can still do your work heartily as for the Lord because you are training for eternity. All of what we do now matters, and everything is ultimately for God. And as it says in our verse, you will receive inheritance as your reward. So even if you're not being paid or not being paid real well in this world, you are still being rewarded for doing your work well, doing it with ethics, doing it honestly, doing things as God wants you to do them because you're doing them as for God. So ask God for the ability to work as for Him because that's something we don't automatically, naturally, do usually. Uh, Ask God to show that to you and show you what you may need to do differently. And if you're having trouble feeling His presence, let me show you why or how that might be happening and how to go more deeply with my free ebook, Seeking God. And that's at healthturnaroundcoaching.com backslash seeking dash God. And that is link is also in the show notes as well. So to wrap up our time, I want to do Be Thou My Vision. And if you know it, feel free to sing along. If you don't, feel free to listen. Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart. Not be all else to me, save that thou art. Thou my best thought by day or by night, waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. Be thou my wisdom and thou my true word. I ever with thee and thou with me, Lord. Thou my great Father and I thy true child. Thou in me dwelling and I with thee one. Be thou my breastplate, my sword for the fight. Be thou my dignity, thou my delight. Thou my soul shelter, then thou my high tower. Raise thou me heavenward, O power of my power. Riches I heed not, nor man's empty praise. Thou mine inheritance, thou and always. Thou and thou only first in my heart. I, King of heaven, my treasure thou art. And I will see you next week with another verse. See you then.